What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Frickin' Uncultured. My name is Chandler, and as always, I am joined with Andy. Andy, how you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. It's been a hell of a week for sure, but so far so good.
I realized I always say joined with you like we're conjoined twins,
I don't think it's
but like
that serious, but
that's what it sounds like in my head. So, but anyway, yeah, we're back. Here we are, second video of the new year. So, I mean, life has just been crazy. So I'm exhausted. I know Andy's exhausted, but here
yep.
we are for your entertainment, back again like Slim Shady. So,
Something like that.
yeah. So, Andy, what you been up to here lately? Got anything fun or interesting or cool to share with us?
Not really anything new. I started so my wife and I are going on a big trip here in a few months. I get to start planning that, so we've been kind of prepping the Japan trip. So we're actually prepping
Woohoo!
where we're going, cities, stuff like that. It's going to
Yep.
be our anniversary too, so that'll be kind of fun just to try and see if we can have some fun, during that time frame. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, nothing too
So,
crazy, man. I haven't been playing any games or anything like that. It's just been a work week for sure. So,
not even anything on your phone or on your Switch or on your Steam Deck?
no, I mean, every so often I'll play like a couple games of Isaac just because it's easy to jump in and jump out of, but nothing crazy, man. I'm trying to find something to really hold my attention. And then I've still got the project for my channel, which I
Mhm.
still haven't even had time to work on. So there's things in the works, but it's just I need a little bit of downtime and, just the effort and energy to do it. So
No, I feel that. So, yeah, this I texted you this last night. So I've been I mean, in the last episode I talked about my book talk that I was going to be doing and everything. As of the day before recording this, whenever I was editing the video and everything for my first book and all the movies that I watched that tied into the book, it came out to be 16 minutes long. And I was just like, I don't have a TikTok personality because, as my wife says, I'm a yapper. So because because nobody has the attention span on TikTok to watch a 16-minute video. So
fair.
and here you go. I'm already insulting people just for you. So I'm insulting people that use TikTok. So
Just for
I
me.
just
This isn't just norm for you, just for me.
yeah, just for you. That's the whole reason I do this.
Oh,
So
sure, sure.
yeah. So I decided forget book talk because I'm too long-winded. This is going to be a book tube now. So Neon Johns is going to have official uploads again now, official videos, and the first one should be up sometime this week if everything goes well. The video is edited. I need to tweak a couple of things, make a thumbnail, and then it should be 100% good to go. And the first video for the year for the new Neon Johns launch will be up.
And this
So
is a once a month thing, right?
it's a once a month thing. I may do like update videos and stuff like that, and other fun little things that I can think of. Because, uh, like one thing that I want to do that at some point this year is kind of do like a book haul where I just go to Barnes and Noble and get a bunch of books I'm interested in, and I could like do a video over the book haul and what I got and everything.
There you go.
So. Yeah, a couple things like that. And then also, my goal on that channel and my goal for the year is to read 12 books this year. That doesn't mean I have to stop at 12, though. So,
Fair. I just didn't
there's
know if
that
you
as
were going to
well.
try and up it to maybe two a month now since you're doing proper videos for it or something like that.
Man, we'll see because like I said, this first video, 16 minutes long for one book, but that's also because this book has four or not 14. This book has four movie adaptations. So, and I know you know what it is, but right now for everybody else it's a complete secret. So, but Andy has the privilege of knowing what it is. So,
Yeah, lucky me.
yep. And then other than that, man, I this morning I woke up and I decided to play Metroid Prime 4. So I have been playing that the vast majority of the day, and I don't see why everybody hates it.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it's just because I'm unbiased because I have not played a Prime game.
I was going to ask if you played any of the Prime games.
No, but even if I had, though, I still don't think I would hate it because all the things that people complain about, some of them are justified, okay? But the vast majority of complaints that I've heard about this game, I don't feel are justified. I feel like they're people complaining to complain. I'm in the third area of the game. I think there's 5 areas in total, so like I'm a decent chunk through the game already, and doing the side stuff, and I'm still doing side stuff, trying to get all the energy tanks and missile upgrades and stuff. But if it continues the way it's going, I think this game is a good 7.5 out of 10 at least, though. I mean, that could change as I go on, but like I don't see the complaints. I don't hate it. I don't understand where all the hate's coming from.
I mean, I can't say anything. I haven't played it, so I don't know for sure, but I can say I have played the originals back in the day, and
Mhm.
they are phenomenal games, especially for what they were on the GameCube. So,
Yeah.
like, I think it's also that nostalgia kind of kicking in as like these games were incredible when they came out. Maybe this one, even though it's a 7.5, 8 on your scale, like that's still a good game, but it's not
Yeah.
what the originals were, or maybe not what people were expecting from the new one to be. So I don't know. Like I said, I haven't played it. I
I
don't know
mean,
anything on it other than the trailers and stuff. So
maybe, I don't know. Like one big complaint, because there's the massive desert area where you
hmm
can ride the bike around and everything. Everybody's like, "Yeah, I spent like 60% of my playtime in this desert area." And I'm just like, Were you playing it wrong then?" Because I've hardly spent any time in this desert area, and I'm in the third area of the game.
I mean,
I
again,
I I I don't understand. I don't get it.
yeah, I got
So,
nothing on it.
I
I need to play it. I want to play it, but
honestly, at this point, I'm tempted to, whenever I finish it, doing a video titled "My Unbiased Metroid Prime 4 Review"
I
for
mean,
the
you might as well
channel.
do a review for it.
I might as well, yeah, because like I said, I feel like everybody's just hating on it because it took what 8 years to
They took
develop since its
they took their
announcement or
time.
something. Yeah, and so I think everybody's just crapping on it to crap on it. I really don't think it's all that bad a game. I really don't.
Well, we got to look forward to that review now, guys. You heard it here first. He's going to do a Metroid Prime 4 review, so
But yeah, we'll see whenever it gets out. Just like this other review that I've been working on since like October. We'll
I
see
mean,
when it gets out
in all
too.
fairness, I haven't been able to do my review either, so it's been
Yeah,
it's been a rough last part of 2025 for us. So we've been playing a lot of catch up, so
yeah. Only reason I've gotten so far in the booktube thing is just because it's easy to sit down and read a couple pages of a book here and there or watch a movie. It's a
yeah.
lot easier to knock something like that out than to sit down and sink 15, 25 hours into a video game. So,
Fair. I get it, man. I
well,
get it.
anyway, let's go ahead. I feel like we've rambled on long enough. So, let's go ahead and get into today's topic. So, today I wanted to talk about, it's funny because we were just talking about Metroid Prime 4, but I want to talk about Nintendo though, because Nintendo has been kind of in the spotlight here recently, and for not the best reasons. I mean, there's some good things in there for sure, but there's a lot of divisive things as well. And here we are, 6 months into the Switch 2 release. We're almost to a year of the Switch 2 being out. I own a Switch 2. Andy now owns a Switch 2. So, and I know he keeps up with all the gaming news and stuff like that for Nintendo as well. So I just kind of wanted to talk about Nintendo and what's going on with this company. Like what's Andy's current standpoint on them, what my current standpoint is on them, and what we hope for the future for this company, because it has been a really mixed bag these last 6 months.
I
So,
mean,
got anything you want to add before we hop into it?
yeah, but it like I know we're gonna focus more on Nintendo, but this last year has thrown everything kind of a whirlwind for the gaming industry as a whole. I mean, even
You're not wrong.
PlayStation's had some ups and downs. Microsoft is doing some crazy things right now. But I know we're gonna focus more on Nintendo. But yeah, I think I've got some opinions on this, but I'm kind of letting you take the reins on this to kind of see where we're going. So
Well, the main reason I chose Nintendo and why I want to talk about Nintendo is just due to the fact, as you know, there's some people out there that are just they just love Nintendo to death. Nintendo can do no wrong.
100%.
Nintendo's the best company ever made. But even they are starting to complain. Even they are starting to have issues with their golden boy. And so something's up whenever the die-hard fans of Nintendo, and let's be honest, they are die-hard fans. Like, there's fans out there who are just pure Nintendo. I don't own a PlayStation. I don't own an Xbox. All I need is a Switch to be happy in life. And even they're upset with Nintendo. And to me, that's just caught my attention. And so I don't know if it has you or not.
Well, let's start in a different direction here. Let's start with the positives.
Okay,
So, like,
absolutely.
obviously, the beginning part of last year, let's say uh, before we really start hitting the nail on the head of the issues, Switch 2 obviously launched. And that
Yep,
was that
and
was
it
a
did.
it was a kind of controversial launch because we just got to a point where we're like, oh, a new Switch console's coming out. It's $500. It's $450
Hmm.
to $500. And that was kind of a punch to the gut for us, man. Like, we weren't expecting. I mean, we've got the what was it? The just the regular Switch was what, 249 originally, and
Yeah,
then the
was
OLED was
240.
349.
Yep, you would
And
be
then
correct.
now that the prices have raised on everything, I think an OLED brand new is 399. But I mean, these systems,
Yes.
yeah. But like when these systems came out, they were 250. Even the
Hmm.
regular Switch Lite was 199, and their next
Hmm.
piece of hardware, which is a step up. It's not a substantial step up, but it is a step
No.
upwards. Is double what the system originally came out to be almost.
Hmm.
And so that was kind of a first hiccup, in my opinion, with the Switch 2. Now,
Man, I like how you were like, let's start positive, and
well,
you're
that's
just like,
that's
the price sucks.
that's the thing. But it sold very well.
It did. I actually, while you were talking, because I knew where you were going with this, I went ahead and pulled up the sales numbers. As of September of 2025, the Switch 2 has sold it actually set records. It's Nintendo's fastest selling system. It sold 10.36 million units as of September of 2025.
Okay. But uh to dig into that, it sold very well. And this was my hang up with the system is I don't feel like we got a great launch lineup of games.
And that's something I wanted to go into. That's one of the talking points I wanted to bring up.
So Mario Kart World, I think it is a good game. I don't think it's
Hmm.
great. I think it's a good Mario Kart game. It is a lot of fun. It checks a lot of new boxes that we've never seen before in a Mario Kart game. But it's Mario Kart. Like, to me, I could play it a little bit. I'm gonna get bored in 20, 30 minutes.
Hmm.
But like, what about you? What was there anything other than Mario Kart that caught your attention during the launch lineup?
So here's the thing is, well, whenever you say launch lineup, do you mean the day one
Day one.
or do you mean, okay, day one? No, honestly. I picked up Mario Kart World day one just so that way I could have a game, and it's Mario Kart. You can't really go wrong with Mario Kart. But Mario Kart World is fairly disappointing. And that is, that's not normal for Mario Kart, you know? It's a game that usually anybody can hop into and just have a good time. I mean, that's Nintendo's whole thing with Mario. Mario is the house staple. Mario, whether it's Mario Kart or a mainline Mario game, is meant for anybody to jump in and enjoy and have a good time. And I feel like World doesn't have a good balance of that because you have on one hand in World, you can just kind of hold down the gas button and you can just go for it, try to do some tricks and everything. But unless you learn how to do those tricks, which you're just not going to have a good time because you have to know how to do those tricks and get those speed boost and those the technicalities of it if you want to get first.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of alienates new players, but then you have all of these people who foam at the mouth for it and they've just overanalyzed it to death and figured out anything they can do, and they have just absolutely decimated this trick system to the point where they are using it to the full advantage, and I would even argue beyond advantage, because there's some technical things that you can do in Mario Kart World that weren't even intended by the developer, but you can do them though, and you just have such an unfair advantage over the base audience. So you don't really have that appeal to the standard audience that you would normally have with a Mario game, and you just have this appeal to people who like to basically speedrun and break games. There's no middle ground to be had here.
Fair. I mean, it you can. rein that a little bit in, like if you're playing with like friends, family, stuff like that. But if you're trying to just
I
play
mean, you
Mario Kart
can.
online and you're kind of going into the masses there, yeah, you're gonna run into stuff like that. But for me, it's just a thing of like Mario Kart. It's a great launch title. It's something that's going to get a lot of people playing on new hardware. Is it a system seller? In my opinion, your cameras.
Oh, hey, you cut that out. Anyway, so you were saying Mario Kart World. Do you think it's a console seller? Personally, I say no.
So like I disagree in a sense. I think it's a system seller because I think it's one of those that it's a party game, quote unquote party game. It's one of those games that if you sell this system, you can at least have up to 8 people playing this game. It makes it easy to do that. Now, there are other games to do that. Like, I'm not saying Mario
Hmm.
Kart's the only one to do that, but I do think it's a system seller. Is it a great game to be a system seller? I feel like there's better. But kind of leaning into that and kind of leading into my point, um, the next few games that have come out for like since June, because this system came out in June, correct?
Yes.
So I know we had Donkey Kong Bonanza. I know
Hmm.
we had Pokemon ZA. I know we had Metroid Prime. My issue with the Switch right now is I don't feel like we've had a lot of great system sellers for this system.
So, and that's something I wanted to talk about because, as you and I both know, the Switch 2, before its release and before even its announcement, was the worst kept secret in the gaming industry.
Oh yeah.
And but one of the big reasons why it took so long for us to get it was because Nintendo's justification was that they want to have a strong lineup, and I don't feel like we've necessarily had that strong of a lineup, especially whenever you want to compare it to something like the Switch 1. On Switch 1 launch day, we had Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I know you have mixed feelings about it and everything, but you also can't deny that it sold phenomenally well. And then not only that though, but it was a console seller. Not only is it Legend of Zelda, which is one of their best-selling franchises, it was the first open world Zelda game.
Mm-hmm.
So, there was big hype behind it and a reason to get a Switch because first open world Zelda game. We've never had anything like that before. And then a month later, we had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which I mean, considering the fact that nobody played the Wii U, it may as well have been a brand new Mario Kart
Fair.
game.
Fair.
And since it was the deluxe version and they added extra content to it from its base launch, I mean, you've seen the sales numbers for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It speaks for itself.
Oh yeah,
And
that's
then,
easily their best-selling game like of all time on the Switch. Like that
oh
game is
yeah,
always #1 on top sellers.
yeah. And then within the same year, I mean, they had ARMS, which yeah,
They had
I, I,
arms.
f- I f- I feel like people forget about it. I just wanted to bring it up. We got Splatoon 2, which I'm not that big a Splatoon fan, but apparently it has a massive following.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I just don't care for it personally, but if you enjoy it, more power to you. And then not only that, though, in the same year we got Mario Odyssey. So not only did we get the first ever open world Legend of Zelda game, we also got a brand new 3D Mario that was the most open a Mario game has been since probably Sunshine. Because, Galaxy 1 and Galaxy 2 are pretty linear and pretty straightforward. And
Yeah.
then on the Wii U, we got 3D World, which was even more linear and straightforward. So this was the first actual, like, open, full exploration 3D Mario game that we had gotten since GameCube, which so there was already two massive reasons to get a Switch right there. Both of those are just massive console sellers compared to a Mario Kart game that we get for the launch of the Switch 2, Mario Kart World. I mean, it doesn't even have the same amount of content as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but granted, I can't fault it there because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has just been added on to so much since it's been out. It's a 10-year-old game.
Yep.
So I can't even fault Mario Kart World, but I also can't blame anybody if they want to play a better Mario Kart game over World. I can't fault them.
No. I feel like kind of I guess jumping ahead a little bit. My big gripe that I'm seeing now is obviously the launch lineup for the Switch 2 was kind of lackluster.
Hmm.
So the way I'm looking at things now is like what's in the future? what's
Mhm.
ahead. And we haven't had a direct in a little bit. Like the Switch Direct, it's been a little bit since we've had one. We've got one
Mhm.
playing on the background right now. I think this one was back in September is what I pulled up.
This would have been the last direct that Nintendo did, so
But
that was not a dedicated direct to
yeah,
anything.
but my thing is like what's in the future? And when
Yeah.
I think of things coming out, they've got a good lineup of games coming out, but I'm seeing things like Animal Crossing, which was a Switch 1 title.
Mhm.
They're doing another version of Super Mario Wonder. We're
Which was a
getting
Switch 1 title.
we're getting a
Like,
spin-off game for Splatoon.
mhm.
The big thing I can think of coming out that isn't a Switch 1 title is the new Fire Emblem coming out.
And even then, we don't know when it's coming out, though.
Exactly. That's the thing is like, so I think desperately we need a Nintendo Direct. And I think
Mhm.
this one, I'm not one of these people that are like, this has got to be make or break for Nintendo. Like they have to announce something big or it's the like Nintendo's going to be fine regardless.
Oh,
But
yes.
if they want to start selling more of these systems, they need to give us something on the horizon. Because like me, I didn't purchase a Switch 2 day one, and I was going to wait for games that caught my attention.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I got one for Christmas. So I was very fortunate in that regard. But I probably still wouldn't have purchased one because there's
Mhm.
nothing out that holds my attention that like I have to play, and there's nothing on the horizon that I just have to play. Like
Yeah.
the only thing I can think of that I'm like, okay, I would 100% play that is Dustbloods, and we've talked about that before.
Yes.
But I'm still like cautious about that one because it was one trailer. We haven't heard anything about it. We haven't seen anything else on it. FromSoft hasn't even talked about it. So it's
No.
like I'm curious. Like I want to see more on it. But what is there anything in the future that is catching your attention or something you're even excited for?
I mean, don't get me wrong, coming in the future and everything, I think there's some good games coming out. You definitely have your standard Nintendo fare here. Next month we're getting Mario Tennis Fever, and honestly, they actually just dropped a brand new trailer for it, and this looks like the best Mario Tennis that we have gotten in years. The one for the Switch, I don't, what is it, Aces? Mario Tennis Aces?
Yep, yep.
I did not care for Aces, and it's because of how bare bones it was. But I'll say this, Fever does look a lot better, and I'm excited for it. I probably won't pick it up day one, but I will get it shortly after its release. That one just looks like a good time to play with my wife and my daughter, and that's my main reason for getting it. If I didn't own a Switch 2, it wouldn't incentivize me to buy a Switch 2, but since I already have one, I'll definitely pick it up.
Yeah.
And then we also just saw the trailer for the new Yoshi game. I like the Yoshi games, I always have, except Crafted World. Crafted World I don't like to talk about, it was awful. But this new one, though, the Mysterious Book, looks something more like Woolly World as far as gameplay goes, and I loved Woolly World, so the new Yoshi game has caught my attention. I do enjoy Fire Emblem, so I'll probably play the new Fire Emblem game. But other than those three things, though, what do we have?
So that's kind of leading to my next question. And I do have an answer for it, but I do feel like it's a cop out.
Okay, let me hear it.
But if they had the discontinue the Mario Kart bundle tomorrow, let's say Nintendo was like, all right, we're done with this bundle. Is there a game coming out that you feel like is a actual title worth bundling with the system and would make it a system seller?
No,
I think
not at all.
I think that's the core of the problem.
Yeah.
Nintendo has released great hardware. I think the Switch 2 is infinitely better than the Switch 1. Is
Oh,
it?
me too. You know my stance on the Switch one. I'm
Yeah.
not a fan of it.
I
So,
actually am very happy with what they've done with the Switch. Like the Switch 2. The hardware is fantastic. I love the new Joy-Cons. It's actually comfortable to hold. The magnetic
mhm.
connection system they use instead of the little slide rails is infinitely better. I think there's a lot of pros to the new hardware, but gaming hardware doesn't mean anything if there's no games to play on it. And kind of to go back to the question, I think the only thing that they could replace Mario Kart World with is Wonder right now. That remake of Wonder. I think that is
I
probably their best
But even then, though, you have to think people probably already own
No, I
it.
agree. I'm not saying
And
it's
and
the
the,
best
and
solution,
oh no, but
but I
that's the
think if
thing
they
is,
had to bundle something and it would be somewhat a system seller, it would have to be that. It's Mario.
well, see, my thing is, and this is my big thing, is Nintendo's whole excuse for waiting to release it for so long was to have a stronger lineup. But whenever we only have, you know, Mario Kart World, which is proven to be fairly divisive, Donkey Kong Bonanza, which is probably the game that has received the most positive reception for the Switch 2's, lineup for the first 6 months. What else did we get? We got Pokemon ZA. I mean, it's going to sell well regardless, but the thing is though, is Pokemon ZA was also a Switch launch, or not launch title, a Switch title. So you don't have to buy a Switch 2 to play ZA
Yep.
if you already own a Switch, so there's no incentivification there. So, and then not only that though, you get Metroid Prime 4, which was also released on Switch 1, so no incentive there. And then we got a new Hyrule Warriors game, which this is the third Hyrule Warriors game we've gotten. So there's not a lot of incentive as far as new titles go because they're also releasing on the first Switch, and then we're getting all of these re-releases of Switch 1 games with DLC basically.
And then to add to that, another one of the big announcements we got with the Switch 2 was the addition of GameCube games. That was going to be a part of
Yes.
NSO. And we're 6 months into the Switch 2 life cycle,
Hmm.
and we just officially got Fire Emblem a few days ago.
Path of Radiance. Yep.
Yeah, we just officially got that added. This was a 6-month announcement. It took them 6 months to get that on there. Did Gale of Darkness ever get added?
It has not been added yet. Here, hold on. I will pull up a list of every game that is currently on there. So we
Because I
have Wind
know
Waker.
Soul Calibur 2 got added.
Yeah, we have Wind Waker, F-Zero GX, Soul Cal 2, Super Mario Strikers, Chibi Robo, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, Wario World, Luigi's Mansion, and that is it for the time being. So we have one,
9.
two, three. Were you keeping count?
Yeah, we got 9
Okay.
titles.
Yeah.
So in 6 months, we got 9 GameCube titles. One of the probably, I don't want to say the best, but like fan favorited systems. The GameCube was a phenomenal system. And there's a lot of great titles to be shared on that platform. And we got 9. And the 2 big ones that got announced were Fire Emblem and Pokemon Gale of Darkness.
Yep.
And we only
Well,
have
I
one
would
of
argue,
them.
and I would even argue Gale of Darkness more than anything because I mean, that game is widely beloved. I mean, I'm not even the biggest Pokemon fan, and I like Gale of Darkness.
And I mean, that game still sells for crazy money. Like, it is a very expensive game. So,
Hmm.
but again, like, I feel like Nintendo is setting themselves up to, like, potentially do some really cool stuff, and they're just not running with it. Actually,
Yeah.
something else they announced too was the whole Virtual Boy expansion. So
Which actually launches in February.
yeah, I was gonna say that's coming up, but
But it's
what
$100 peripheral.
I think that, I mean, if you get the actual thing, yes, I think they said they were gonna do like a cheaper alternative for it too.
Did they say that? Okay.
Yeah, I thought there was like a cardboard, like a Labo style thing that you can do. But I don't know, like, to me, it's just like, there's so much potential with this hardware. Nintendo has some of the best franchises out there. Like, obviously, they've done very well with it over the past 40-something years. But it's like, I feel like they're not really pushing this generation very hard.
Yeah.
So, I
Oh,
know
yes,
we've been...
they are doing a cardboard model of the Virtual
Okay.
Boy, by the way.
Okay. So, let's actually try and go a little bit of a positive route now. So, what do you feel like... Let's say we're sitting down with the brand new CEO of Nintendo. I can't remember her name, but let's say we're sitting down with her.
Well, keep in mind that isn't she CEO of Nintendo of America, though, not Nintendo overall?
I mean,
Because she replaced Doug Bowser, right?
yeah, fair.
So she probably doesn't have that much pull.
I mean, maybe. I mean, she's got a good amount of pulls. She's still over Nintendo of America. But let's say we're sitting down with someone at the table, and they're asking for our opinions on what we can do to make 2026 the greatest year for Nintendo. or a
Mhm.
better year for Nintendo. I don't want to say greatest year, but what's a piece of advice you would give?
Honestly, and this is something, a lot of people like, oh, back in the day, Nintendo, they would be like, oh, Nintendo would never do that, but it's something we actually see a lot more of from Nintendo now, and it's something that we actually saw them do a lot during the generation of the Switch 1, but I think they need to outsource more and get third-party developers that they trust to handle some of their IPs.
Okay.
Because that would help them be able to focus on their larger titles like a 3D Mario game while also bolstering the Switch 2 library because as throughout the Switch's life cycle they had a lot of other companies that they outsourced and relied on to get things out, primarily Bandai Namco. So I think they should outsource more. I think they should bring more people in.
Fair. I don't know. That's one of those. Are you talking about with their first party titles, just in general?
Yeah. Because let's look at it. Metroid Dread was made by Mercury Steam, not a Nintendo-owned company.
Mm-hmm.
They are an independent company on their own. Dread did phenomenal. Grizzo, I don't think Nintendo owns Grizzo. I could be wrong in that. They're the ones that did the Ocarina of Time 3D, 3DS port. They also did the Link's Awakening, and from my understanding, they also did Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. So they had the opportunity to make a brand new Zelda game. So there's been multiple instances where studios have been given the privilege to work on first party titles, and they've been good titles, and they help bolster the library while Nintendo's A teams can work on their big triple A budgeted games.
Fair. No, and I mean, because correct me if I'm wrong. You know a lot of this stuff better than I do, but doesn't what about Retro? Do they own Retro?
Yes, they own Retro
Okay,
Studios.
I think that
Or
would
I think
be
they're majority shareholder.
okay
Something like
because
that.
I think that's what Nintendo should start doing. I would be more afraid of them just outsourcing to everybody because
Well,
that's where we get a lot of weird things and just random stuff that the Nintendo eShop's already a crazy
I mean,
thing in general, but I would
it
like them
is.
to start owning more third-party developers or having
Mhm.
even a majority share, but have kind of go the Microsoft route. Let's I don't want to say own these developers, but have certain developers kind of like Retro and so like let them be like, hey, this is our developer. We're gonna have them focus more on Donkey Kong or
Mhm.
Zelda. Like have more dedicated. But I don't think it's a bad call getting more outside sources because I mean, who knows? We might get games a little bit quicker too. So
Yeah, no, that's exactly my point. And I mean, just I think it would be super cool because Nintendo obviously just doesn't hand a first party title to any developer because and I don't expect them to and I don't want them to. I want
yeah,
them to hand it to the right developer. But could you imagine how cool it would be if an indie developer like Torta Pizza who did Pizza Tower had the opportunity to make a new Wario Land game? That would be awesome
fair.
because they modernized Wario Land. A franchise we haven't seen in decades at this point.
No, there's I mean there's definitely pros and cons, and there's always going to be best
There
case
is.
scenario and worst case scenario kind of thing. But there's a couple studios like I can think off the top of my head that I would really like for them to be. I don't want to say Nintendo owned, but primarily Nintendo.
Partnered.
Yeah, like I could see like
Yeah,
Level 5. I think Level 5 would be a great example of.
yeah, they make Luigi's Mansion.
Yep.
Well, now they do anyway.
Yeah, but
So
I think that would be a great example. Kind of like how Insomniac normally works with Sony and stuff like that. Like I think that would be
yeah.
a great
Well,
addition. So,
Sony owns Insomniac now,
oh, well, okay, then that makes sense.
or something like Nintendo and Bandai. Sakurai and Team Sora Ltd. They created Smash Bros. Speak of the devil, there he is. They made Smash Bros. And everything, but Bandai Namco had a large hand in the development of the game, though.
Fair.
So even stuff like that would be helpful. I think it's just a thing of they need to bolster their teams, and they need to, I think they need to rely on more people, and of course, I argue vet them. See if they're even worth it. Just don't hand it to anybody. But I think that would go a really long way.
Fair. I think I don't know. Like for me, obviously there's a nostalgia piece here, and it just seems like they're just dancing around a lot of uh I don't know if it's like legalities to it. You know, they can't get the licensings to things and stuff like that. For me, my piece of advice to them would be let's start digging into NSO a little bit more. Let's start digging into these older franchises and stuff like that.
Well,
Obviously, we've seen like we've been I definitely have preached from the heavens, you know, the whole Eternal Darkness and stuff like that. Let's get a new one there. I think we're seeing a little fatigue on the same franchises over and over and over. Let's try some
mhm.
different things. That's the one thing. That's the one piece of advice I would like to give them.
Well, and I see what you're saying there and on the legalities and everything, but let's even argue that they didn't do third-party titles. There's a plethora of first-party titles they could still put on NSO.
That'd be fair. I'm not even talking just
And
NSO. Like I think we're in a good point where we're really starting to see these HD remasters. You know, obviously like
mhm,
Final Fantasy, Resident Evil, stuff like that. Like we're getting full rebuilds from the ground up remasters. I think
mhm,
I personally, I know I'm a nostalgia gamer for sure. I grew up with all this stuff just like you. Like I would
yep.
like to see more of that, but I want to see particular titles done. Like I mean,
See, and it's funny you brought that up. I was going to say something about that myself. And this is something that I feel like you're going to have a camp of two different people. You're going to have two different camps here. You're going to have the camp of people that is like me and you, who is fully on board for it. You know, a full blown from the ground up HD remake of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask would be awesome. You and I would both love it to death. But then you have this camp of people over here that's like, who's upset with how oversaturated the game market is with remakes, not just from Nintendo, but in general. And their whole argument would be, hey, I want new titles and not, you know, just ports and remakes and HD remakes of older games, which you and I aren't in that camp. But I see where you're coming from in that, and I think that's also a great idea because they also take significantly less time to make.
the other thing to that too is like I get the argument from both sides of like, come on, I just want new stuff and you know all that, but it's like you don't have to play it.
No, you don't.
In this scenario, the nice thing is product is being made.
Yep.
You know,
Oh,
there's
and
still we're still getting, you know, new Zelda and Dragon Quest because that's on the screen right now, but like we're still
mhm,
getting new games, but we're also getting the opportunity to relive some of these older titles because I promise you there's a huge generation of people that haven't played Dragon Quest 1, 2 and 3. There's a
mhm,
huge generation of people that haven't played Dragon Quest 7 or Final Fantasy 7 or Resident Evil 2, 3, 4. They never played the originals.
yep.
And it's like this is opening up that world to a whole new generation and stuff like that. So that's the for me,
Yep.
I know we're on the same side of the bandwagon there, but it's like to me that's the pro argument there. But we're still getting all this new stuff, man. We're still getting games that it just are new as a whole, new IPs in general. And like I don't feel like there's a downfall there. I just don't feel like Nintendo's really running with these titles. I don't feel like we're getting, you know, we're not getting uh that nostalgia kick unless it's to me cheapened by the NSO factor where it's just a cheap port or the reimagine or the remixes and stuff like that, which those bug me for some reason, but I don't know. I'm just not I don't feel like they're really running with it.
No, I see what you're saying, and to actually, this kind of is a good segue, but I'm going to go back to negative here though, because you were talking about how we have these remakes of like Dragon Quest and everything, and Final Fantasy and stuff. There's a big thing though is that a lot of those developers and games that you just mentioned are third party titles, and with the launch of the Switch 2, we had the misfortune of also receiving game key cards,
Mm.
which a lot of third party developers favor, and the general consensus online is people aren't happy with them.
I have a weird stance when it comes to the game key cards. So like I'll let you kind of take the reins on this for a little bit and then I'll jump in after, but
Well, all I was going to say is I'm not a big fan of them. I understand your stance, even though whenever they first launched, you had a completely different stance. But
I mean, I did.
you're allowed to change your mind. It's okay.
Fair,
So,
but it's also you got to kind of look at it from the perspective because when you first hear about it, it's that knee jerk reaction. Everyone
mhm,
instantly automatically think, "Oh, this is such a scam." I'm not getting my game and blah 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 and this that and the other. It's like I'm gonna have to download it. Well, I can't sell it now, and like everyone automatically assumes the worst. And it's like,
mhm,
in all fairness, this is the same thing Microsoft and PlayStation do to this day. Nintendo just jumped on the bandwagon to make it cheaper. Does that mean I
mhm.
like it? Does that mean I think it's a good idea? Absolutely not. I'm not a fan of it still. Like, I don't care for game keycards, but it's not
Yes,
anything new. You when you buy a PS5 disc, that game's not on the disc. You get the install key for it. You get the quote unquote game key for it. And when you put it in your PlayStation 5, it downloads the whole game to your system, then it downloads the update. The same
you are
thing with the
correct.
game key cards. You put it in your system, it unlocks that key for your system, and then you download it. So it does the same thing. Do I like it? Absolutely not. If the servers go down, if Nintendo, all of a sudden just decided, hey, we're gonna go back to making playing cards and we're done with all of this, those games are useless. But I would
Mhm.
rather own my games, kind of like what CD Projekt Red did. They got entire Cyberpunk, the entirety of that game on one of those key cards. You can throw that in without internet and play it right off the card. That's amazing. So that's what I
Yep.
prefer. But I don't think the game key cards are the end of the world. I don't think they're great, but I think it's kind of what Microsoft did when they first announced the Xbox One and they were like, "We're online only. You can't share your games with people. You can't do this, you can't do that." And everyone was like, "Oh, that system's garbage. I'm going to sell Xbox and go PlayStation." They shot themselves in the foot because they marketed it wrong. Cuz now, what are we? You buy a PlayStation 5 or a Series X, you have to be online to play your games. You have to get the updates. You got to do this. You got to do, there's all they just jumped the gun and made it sound worse than what it actually is. Same thing with the key cards. They jumped the gun, made it sound infinitely worse than what it actually is.
Well,
But
and I think the big thing is, and this is my issue, and I feel like this is other people's issues as well, is then why did you even bother to give us an option? Why do you have games that aren't key cards where the entire game is on there, and then you have the alternative?
I
You
think
get what I'm saying?
no, I agree. I understand. Like, I think the thing is they're really trying to push that virtual key card thing where you can have multiple systems and you can assign the game to that system. You know what I'm talking
Mhm.
about? I think that's what they're pushing. Is they're trying to make a quote unquote a digital physical edition that is assigned to that system. And they're really pushing that. And I don't for me that system doesn't work because I have multiple switches, but I'm only going to play on one switch. Like, I'm
Yes.
not if I'm a parent and I've got a family of 4 and you're switching games back and forth, like, that makes sense. I understand that aspect of it. But to me, I don't again, I feel like they just shot themselves in the foot by doing this system that was completely unnecessary.
Yes, and then something else that goes hand in hand with that too is, because your whole thing that you're saying right now is they have this friendly approach to people who have large families who have multiple switches and everything. But then here recently, they actually announced the discontinuation of their game voucher program, which allows them to get
Yep.
first party Nintendo titles bundled together at a cheaper price. It is going to be discontinued at the end of the month.
I mean, that's I don't have enough like info to really run off of that, but to me it's a thing of there's got to be something else in the works then.
I mean, maybe, but it's just with the way things have been, though, it's just this weird dynamic where it seems like Nintendo is being consumer friendly and not consumer friendly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like they're one step
It
forward,
seems
two steps back kind of thing.
exactly, and that's not. And even though you and I may sit here and be like, well, maybe they have something else going on, that's not what the general public's going to think.
No. But it's Nintendo. Like it doesn't matter. Like
That's fair.
it's that Nintendo like mentality of, oh, I don't like that, but they'll be all right. I'll get a new
Well,
Mario.
like,
I'll get a new Pokemon. Whatever. Like it'll happen.
well, like I said at the beginning, though, you even see people who are diehard Nintendo fans that are like, "I don't like this," you know, who would defend Nintendo to hell and back, are at the point now where they're like, "This, I don't like this."
But I mean, I agree. I think I mean, kind of like what I said at the beginning. I feel like the industry as a whole has kind of shifted. Like even though
Yes,
like kind of something that put this really in perspective for me. Do you know the order of the best-selling systems for Q4 this year?
I'm assuming number one is PS5.
Yeah, so PlayStation 5 was our top-selling system for Q4. Nintendo Switch was 2. And then there's a brand new system that I've never really even heard of as number 3. That
Oh,
out
is it the one that's basically a Connect?
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
I didn't hear anything on that. And then it's Microsoft.
Hmm.
So, like, we're already seeing a shakeup in holiday sales. We're already seeing a shakeup in Q4 sales. This has been a weird year for gaming. Not saying it's bad, not saying it's good. It's been a very weird year. I mean, this is where we saw the tariffs and the price hikes. We've never seen a generation in the history of gaming where prices have gone up on consoles like
Yeah.
this, especially twice. The Series X came out at $499. Then it went to what is it, $550, and now it's $650.
Yep.
It's like we've never seen anything like this. So it's
Well,
been a
I,
very, I mean, even PlayStation went up and the Switch went up. So
well, I mean, and there's different kinds of arguments to be made there. I don't want to get into the
yeah,
political
yeah.
climate and everything like that. That's not what this channel is. Um, but even though PlayStation did go up a little bit on prices, you can't deny though that they are eating some cost.
I mean, yeah, no, my point is not to dig into the politics of that or, like, yeah, anytime a manufacturer sells new hardware, they're always taking a loss on the hardware. They're not making
Yes.
money on Switch 2s or PS5s or any of that. They make their money on game sales and accessory sales. That's really where all the money comes from. My point of it is just we've seen a lot of firsts in 2025 when it comes to the game industry, and that makes me concerned for 2026 and onward. And I mean,
Hmm.
hell, we haven't even talked about the PC market and how disastrous that's about to be. But
Yeah.
my concern is 2025 was a weird year. I don't want to say bad or good, but it was weird. What does 2026 look like for us? What are we expecting for the future?
Well, I'll say this then because I've kind of touched on all the negativity that I wanted to hit with Nintendo. Obviously, it's been it's been a weird back and forth, and it's been a weird double-edged sword. You can't deny that.
Mm-mm.
Um, but now it is 2026. And as you would think if you watch this channel regularly that I'm a fairly pessimistic person. I'm really not. I do like to look on the good side. I do like to look on the positive side of things, but I also just kind of play devil's advocate a lot in that sense. But 2026 is here. What would you like to see from Nintendo going forward?
So, kind of to dig back what I was saying earlier, I really want to see them dig into their NSO market. I don't think we're going to see that anytime soon. I think we're a little ways away from that. Because obviously they're just now adding to the GameCube market. We're just going to get the Virtual Boy here in like a month. So, for me, I really want to see some proper system sellers.
Hmm.
We need to have something that's just gonna grab the attention of people. Now,
Yes.
is that gonna be a new Pokemon game? Are we finally gonna get,
Well,
you know,
we do have Gen 10 on the horizon.
are we gonna finally see Odyssey 2? I don't think that's gonna be a ways away. I don't think we're gonna see
Hmm.
Odyssey 2 for a bit. Obviously, with the way Bonanza
Well,
and all that played out. So
if we're getting a 3D Mario game, it's done by a different team.
fair.
That's just my stance on it.
Yeah. No, it's just my point is we need something that is gonna be a proper system seller. Kind of when, again, we're not huge fans of it, but when Splatoon came out, when Breath of the Wild came out, when, these big titles come out, people are running to, these stores or wherever to buy their system because they have to play this game. I don't think we've had anything so far, so I want to see that in the future. I want Duskbloods to be that system seller. I want, there's so much potential for games. Nintendo needs to focus on finding that pillar first, and then let's start fixing the rest.
Mhm.
So to me, that's what I want to see. I want that. Just give me the games, man. Give me quality games. Like, I'm even okay with proper remakes. I know we're going to get the Final Fantasy VII remake on Switch 2. Even though I've played it on PlayStation, I'm going to pick that up. Binding of Isaac is getting ported to the Switch 2. We're actually getting Repentance plus the online. I'm going to pick that up.
And it's not a game key card either.
Exactly. So. And that's the thing is, like, I'm going to pick those up. But again, I'm a fan of Final Fantasy. I'm a fan of Binding of Isaac. I'm a fan of these games. I'm going to buy them because but I don't think they're system sellers. I don't think someone's going to go out and go buy a Switch 2 because Binding of Isaac's on Switch 2 now.
Yep.
So what about you, man? What's the one thing you're hoping to see from Nintendo next year?
I would like to see, and I mean, this may just sound mean, and I'm not meaning for it to sound mean. I want to see them just try a little harder. Like, honestly, I feel like it's just been kind of haphazardly slapped together. And what I think would help is one, I think we need some DLC for Mario Kart World.
Okay.
A lot of people were upset with the fact that the roster was just padded with basic enemies, and then not only that though, but costume variations for characters, which took up spots on the roster instead of being its own sub menu like it would be in any other game. So a lot of people are upset that they padded the roster. So I think it would be neat if they just added some more characters. I mean, you definitely have other places to pull from. Donkey Kong Bonanza's out, and in Donkey Kong Bonanza, you actually have the opportunity to get different clothes for DK and everything. So add some costumes for Donkey Kong, add some characters from Bonanza, because Diddy Kong's not even in Mario Kart World, and he's always been in Mario Kart. So, I think there's some good opportunity there. I think they need to expand on Mario Kart World to make it a better offer, especially at an $80 game, because I personally don't think Mario Kart World is a game worth $80. And I don't have an issue paying $80 for a game, as you know. But I just don't think Mario Kart World is worth it.
I mean, I agree and disagree. Like, I'm not big on the $80 price point either. Like, we didn't even touch that really. But like, I don't know. Like, I was kind of surprised it took as long as it did for game prices to go up. Like, it stayed at 60 for the longest time, and now, as much as I miss that, like, I mean, it is what it is. That's just the way things are. Things just get more expensive. Like, it's just life is what it seems like. But I mean, I'm not a big Mario Kart fan, so for me, I wouldn't pay the $80 for it. But I mean, I know you're a bigger fan of Mario Kart, so like, I guess that's more. That means more to you. So
I just like kart racers, so
yeah,
that's my thing. And my argument is that you have Mario Kart World over here for $80, but then we also have Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which came out in the same year at a cheaper price, and I feel it's a better value. It has a larger roster, it has more tracks to race on. Not only that though, but they're actually doing free DLC updates for it, as
Yep.
well as the season pass that you can pay for. So there's no lack of extra content to be had there, where Mario Kart World has had nothing. And it's been out for a longer time.
Fair. No, I mean,
So,
I'm not arguing that. So
yeah, so I feel like Mario Kart World needs to be bolstered a little bit, and then I feel like that would be a bit better incentive to pick up a Mario Kart bundle of your Switch too. Now, the whole argument is would it be free DLC or paid DLC? And I mean, I don't mind paying for DLC, but only within a realm of reason. Like for example, the Donkey Kong Bonanza DLC is $20, and I haven't played it yet, and I'm very hesitant to because I've seen plenty of gameplay of it, and I don't feel like it's worth a $20 expansion. So,
Fair. So let me
but
let me
that's a
ask you
whole.
this. I do have one question. We are starting to round the hour mark, so I do have one question for you, and then I think it'd be a good point to wrap up.
Okay.
So let's say Nintendo announces their direct, and we're excited for it. We'll both watch it for sure, obviously, like we always do.
Hmm.
But let's say there's one game that you could pick to help, like kind of what's the one game you would want them to announce for 2026?
Like that I would just personally want, or I feel like
Something
would
you would
actually
personally
help bolster
want.
the sales numbers.
You would
Because that's
personally
two different
want.
answers.
I mean,
Okay.
fair. I think one that you think would do well for them, like, but it's something you do want.
Hmm. Ooh, that's a tough one. Because most of what I want, I feel like, is not incentive to bolster console sales. Like I want a new Wario Land. I don't feel like a new Wario Land is going to help console sales.
Fair.
But so let me think on that one. Do you have an answer
Yeah, no,
for?
I do. And
Okay,
again, it's
shoot,
kind of
shoot.
it's kind of in the same boat. Like you're gonna know this the moment I say it. You're gonna be like, of course it is. But
I had a feeling. I already know what it
yeah.
is, but
But like for me, I don't think it's a system seller. I don't think it's something that they could bundle with the system and make it a system seller, unless they got it to the level of the previous version of this. But if we got a new Star Fox to the level of 64, like that quote unquote open world path system, flesh it out a lot more because you can burn through 64 Star Fox pretty quickly. But like,
mhm.
give us something like that. For me, I would like to see a new Star Fox 64 style game. I don't want to port. I don't want a remake of the 64. Leave that game where it is. But I want something like that. That's kind of for me, that would be a chomping at the bit, ready to go for it. I've got a couple other games too, but these are definitely titles that I feel like I'm probably one of like 5 people in the world that like. So
Yeah. See, if I had to give an answer like that, I would argue honestly, I would love a new Punch Out.
fair. I mean, I'd
But
be
I
yeah.
but I don't think it's necessarily a console seller by any means. So if I had to pick something that I want that I feel like would help Nintendo, then I think I would have to argue probably a remake of Ocarina of Time. And whenever I say that, I mean like a fully from the ground up
Yeah, a proper rebuild.
remake. Yes, a proper remake of Ocarina of Time.
I mean, I agree. I think that would be a system seller in my opinion. That would be
It
one that
would
would
be.
bring people out of the woodworks. Um,
Hmm. You have people who don't even own Nintendo consoles flocking to Nintendo consoles.
mhm.
Because I mean, it's such a beloved game. If you remade it from the ground up, maybe add a couple of extra stuff here and there, but don't, stick to the source material though. Don't go too crazy with it. You will have people who will line up in droves for it.
To me, that's I'm biased in this statement. Like, I'm a bigger fan of Final Fantasy for sure, but to me,
Hmm.
that's the level of the Final Fantasy remake announcement. When they I don't know if you remember that E3 trailer from back in the day when they announced that they were doing the
And
Final
everybody
Fantasy
just went
and
ballistic.
everybody lost their mind. I think the Ocarina of Time would be that would be the one that would make people lose their minds.
Hmm.
So I agree. I think that would be a good one too.
Yeah. So that's my answer. If you wanted
So
to add anything onto that, or you want me to go ahead and wrap it up.
no, I want to say this has been kind of like a beat up session for Nintendo. I feel like, and that's not really what I didn't intend for it to be, but I really want to stress the fact that it's been a rough year, and especially
Hmm.
with a brand new piece of great hardware. It's been a very rough year for Nintendo, and it's like, or not even a year. I should say half a year, 6 months.
Hmm.
But I just want to see them start doing something with it. Like, start giving us these great titles. The Switch is a good system. Like, Switch 1, I really like my Switch 1. It's got some great games on it. The
Mhm.
portability is great. Everything about it, like I've got my gripes, especially when it comes to the older hardware, but I just want to see them do something with this that really shows Nintendo's trying, kind of like what you were saying.
Well, see, and that's my thing is I didn't intend for this to be a beat up session either. It's just a thing of I know what this company is capable of. I know what they, are used to putting out. So I'm just disappointed, And so that's whenever I said for 2026 I want them to do better. It's not me sitting here trying to crap on them. Like I just know what they are capable of.
Uh
And
huh.
that's the point.
No, I agree. I agree.
So,
We know what they can bring to the table. I mean, Nintendo's been a powerhouse for many years. They've always played by their own rules. They've never cared
mhm,
about the console wars. They've never cared about trying to output the best graphics ever. It's all been about the player experience, the fan base, taking care
mhm,
of their customers, which is what it should be. But I feel like I don't want to say they've lost that heading, but it's getting to a point where it's like, all right, Nintendo, what's next? Like,
mhm.
because I mean, kind of before we cut off, I remember months ago when you bought the Switch 2, I was like, this is a great system, but it feels like the games are falling off so quickly.
Mhm.
Mario Kart came out, and then a week and a half later, nobody's talking about it. Bonanza came
Mhm.
out, blew up, everyone's talking about it. A week and a half later, nobody's talking about it. Pokemon,
Yeah.
Metroid, they just keep falling off so quickly. And I don't know if
Mhm.
that's because gamers are just expecting more, or if we're just not seeing the level of games like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild and stuff like that. So,
Yeah. And I mean, for me personally, my Switch 2 is worth it just for Donkey Kong Bonanza alone, in my opinion. I absolutely loved that game and adored it. I thought it was fantastic. But that's the thing, though. At the end of the day, Donkey Kong is not a console seller. It's
mm-mm.
really not.
Nope.
And now I have Metroid Prime 4, and I really enjoy Metroid Prime 4 so far, like I said at the beginning of the video, but it's also a game that released on the Switch as well. So th- there's just, you know, it's just weird. It's just weird. That's all I have to say
It's been a
about it.
weird year. 2025 was weird for gaming, and I'm just hoping we get it figured out for 2026.
Yes.
Let's get back to the norm. Let's get back to having some great games, some great stories, some great experiences, and just keep running with it from there.
Yeah, I agree.
So
So,
that's all I've got. If you want to start wrapping this up, man.
yeah. So well, guys, let us know down in the comments below how you feel about Nintendo's current 6 months of the Switch 2 life cycle because we're coming up on a year. Who knows? Maybe in June we can do a follow up video like this because we should have a Nintendo Direct by then.
Oh yeah,
Some more titles should have come out for the Switch 2 by that point. So maybe we can do just kind of a pulse check on Nintendo come June whenever it's been a full year. And hopefully we have some more exciting things to look forward to and some exciting announcements because everything Nintendo has announced for this year is for the beginning of the year. So maybe they do have a 3D Mario for the end of the year. Who knows? It's Nintendo. You never know what they're going to do. So
fair.
I think that would be a good idea. If you want to see us do a pulse check in June on the Switch whenever it's a Switch 2 whenever it's a year old, then let us know down in the comments below. Let us know what you also think about Nintendo's current life cycle within the Switch 2. But as always, thank you all so much for watching. Here recently, we hit 51 subscribers. That is astronomical to me. I can't believe that we're actually at that point. Thank you all so much for your love and support. Next goal is 100,
Yeah,
guys.
we're
So let's get
slowly
it,
but surely.
baby. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. Maybe we'll hit 100 before year 2 of this channel because I mean, after all, we did hit 51 a year in, so maybe we'll get 101 a year
Well,
in. I don't know.
we didn't really do much obviously for December. December was just crazy for us. So we kind of fell out of
Yeah.
the cycle, but now we're getting back into the routine of things. Hopefully we can start getting some more reviews out. Hopefully we can maybe start playing some more games again. We got a lot going on and I really want to get back into the routine and trying some different things and again just having fun because that's what's going to
Yeah.
bring people in. Who knows? Maybe we can live stream some games where you guys can come hang out and talk to us while we're playing some games. Or maybe you can just laugh at
Mhm.
us while we rage while Chandler throws me off a mountain on Peak or something. Who knows?
I don't do that.
Yeah, sure.
I definitely don't hit you with a sleeping dart. What are you
Yep. And
talking
then I
about?
fall off the side of a mountain. That never happened.
No, it
Editors, clip
sure
that
didn't.
in.
No. I'm the editor. I'm not doing it. You have no proof, Andy.
All right. But I'll let you wrap it up, man. Again, just real quick,
All right.
guys. Thank you. You guys have been awesome. The support means the world to us. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you all so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching this episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, all the fun YouTube things.
Oh,
Share
yeah.
us with your friends, family, your enemies, and we will see you all next time. And remember to keep it uncultured.